today. And the son goes, like what? What did you see, Dad? Well, son, I saw some army men today, and they were shooting. They were firing their guns into the air. Oh, wow! Wow, that's pretty cool, Dad. I saw Piripi Taylor from Māori TV today. Oh, whoa! Who's he? Oh, he's a good man. Fantastic voice. Oh, okay. Who else did you see? Oh, I saw Buck Shelford. I saw Buck Shelford today. Who's Buck Shelford? Oh, fantastic rugby player, Buck Shelford. Oh, that's pretty cool, Dad. Did you see anyone else? Oh, I saw Cliff Curtis today. Cliff Curtis, like the actor guy, Cliff Curtis. Yeah, I saw him today. Wow, that must have been a pretty mean day today. Yep, that was pretty cool. But I want to tell you a story. And I want to tell you the story of a young man. And the day was all about him. The day was all about this young man. Oh, yeah, Dad, what happened? It was a celebration. It was a celebration of a young man that fought injustice. Oh, Dad, what does that mean? Well, he thought things weren't quite right. And so he wanted to try and help make things right. And so what he did was he saw something that was happening way over onto the other side of the world. And he wanted to help out. He wanted to help out people. It's a compelling story. When I get home, I'm going to be telling the story of my nephew to my kids, and I'll sit them down and I'll tell them the story of how we made new friends over in the Ukraine. The story of how many people came from all walks of life to celebrate his life, to honor his memory, to honor his strength. It's a compelling story. When I think of Kane from here on in, as well as I'm going to think of the ratbag nephew that he was, and the amazing stories that we heard last night, which I'm not going to repeat. But to make an effect in a small village on the other side of the world. It breaks my heart that that was the end of that chapter. But it's not the end of the story. We continue that story. And we tell someone about the story of Kane, Samuel David Paul Te Tai. And so that's my challenge. My challenge to you is to if you are to see injustice, whether it be big or small, perhaps just think of my nephew and be challenged to speak up and to say something. I am challenged to speak up and to say something. Once again, to Naomi Keith, and the whānau. Aroha nui, we have so much love for you all. And it is an honour and a privilege to be able to say something in celebration of his life. Kia ora. Thank you very much.
You won't believe this, Lumi, but thanks to your speech, we're bang on time. So Ngāri's going to be happy with you and I. Kia ora everyone, and again, just to re-endorse the thanks and the acknowledgements to the Te Tai family, to the Shamkol, and also the Tohu family. Our next speaker, we've got another speaker. I don't know what criteria you've used to choose these speakers, Ngāri and Keith, but to be selected is certainly an honour. To be present is an honour as well. So our next speaker that Ngāri and Keith have requested to share today, and I hope you're prepared, is Ben. Where are you, Ben Ryan? Kia ora, hala mai, Ben. Home te
Kia ora everybody. I can't kōrero, so I'm not going to try to. For those of you that don't know me, obviously my name's Ben, and I first met Kane about 2007. Back then we both had the privilege of serving in the New Zealand Army. Yes, he was 2-1 and I was 1R, but over the last 15 years we managed to forge a strong friendship which spanned long after we both left the military. And it truly is an honour for me to stand here today and call Kane a very true friend and a brother. Today we've all gathered to celebrate and pay our respects and say goodbyes to Kane. Kane was a true hero who gave his life in the line of duty. He was a man with an infectious sense of humour and an incredibly kind heart. Teller. Some, but maybe those are best saved for the drinks after. The time when he thought he was a combination of John Wick and Jack Reacher, when Christ and Matamata. In a farmer's market. Police should have been giving them accommodation for that one. Writing war novels or directing Hollywood action movies, but and a deep commitment to service. He did himself, and he was willing to make the ultimate sacrifice to protect and serve people in need. But he was a friend, a brother, a son, and a mentor, and of course, a father. His kind lives of everyone he met, and his sense of humour brought joy and laughter to all who knew him. From his that he had for everyone and everything, he even and somehow make it stick. Or any situation, and we all know he got himself into many, let's just say, some of Kane's lower moments where his true selflessness and kind heart shone through, or even knew he was going through them. It's not because he was scared to be vulnerable or didn't want to show this side. It's because someone else was worse, and his attention was always on helping them. As he shared some of mine, and in these moments I truly saw the man that he was, a kind of gold. No matter, he was always there for those in need, offering a listening ear, a helping hand, or a kind word of encouragement. He had determination to make a difference in the world. Today, we remember his humour, his kindness, and his place. all those who knew him, and his sacrifice will never be forgotten. Passion for service will be greatly missed, but we do take comfort in the knowledge that you lived your life with a purpose and made a profound difference in the world. We thank you for the example you set for all of us. To my friend, it's not goodbye, it's to see you later. I love you. Rest, stand clear.
Kia ora, kia ora. Those kind words and words of aroha and love and cherished by us all this evening. Tēnā koe. I to the left a lot. I was to his left and so if you see anyone, sort you out. So travellers. Those of you who have travelled locally to attend and support Keith, Nairi, and the tohu whānau, ka mihi kia koutou, thank you. I thank you all on their behalf. We have 2 days, and I'm sure after a week or so when to watch, they'll remember those times and will especially remember your attendance during the last 2 days. So to all our travellers, kia ora kia koutou. Travel safely back when you do return home. Okay, we're doing well now. Okay. Well, Tess, where are you, Tess? Tess is with the UA? Okay. I'm not, I don't think UA, Ukraine, and the A? Oh, okay. They speak. And you present. And can those people please come forward who will be undertaking this role? We've got to pause. I've got to click turly to the page. For your hospitality, for a couple of days. We will for tēnā koutou ka nui rā anau o ki
Good afternoon, and kia ora. My name is Sergei Gosovsky, and I'm a major with Armed Forces of Ukraine. And I was Kane's pre-deployment instructor. We spent several weeks together at the camp, and I visited Kane on the front line several times thereafter. I would like to say farewell to the Kane I knew, to the kindest, most complete human being, and, in my experience, a true warrior. While a lethal force and a demanding leader, he will always be admired by everyone he met as a caring, responsive, tireless, and loving friend. It is important to remember that Kane viewed fighting as a necessity, and yet he was just as concerned with the peaceful rest. Prior to joining the ranks of armed forces of Ukraine, he was heavily involved in the humanitarian effort, fundraising for Ukraine and bringing attention to the war throughout his interviews. Yet he knew he had to pick up arms and he had to fight. He came to the battlefield well prepared, and time and again he's shown intrepidity at the risk of his life, above and beyond the call of duty, because my people suffering in my home were his people too. And he felt that he had to protect them, and he was willing to bleed for them. Kane's unit came under fire when cleaning one of the most dangerous sections of the front line near Vuhledar, which is nearby the city of Donetsk. It was probable that not everyone was going to be able to make it back to the base. Kane was a hero whose destiny was to stay on the battlefield. Kane would have made a difference wherever he went. I am infinitely grateful to him for giving his life defending my home from the ugliness that Putin's Russia brought. Because of Kane, a few more Ukrainians will see the light of the day. A few more families will stay whole. And a few more children will grow up with a chance to do good. We all live hoping that we can give our lives to something worthy. And I stand here before you as a witness of the good that Kane did in Ukraine. A friend and a fellow fighter we lost so soon, and we grieve daily. He died doing what he believed in, and he died a hero who will stay in my and his other fellow soldiers' hearts for as long as we live. God bless our fallen heroes. God bless New Zealand. God bless Ukraine. May you rest in peace, dear Kane. I was honored to bring Kane's medals, and I brought them to his family, and I brought the combat flag of my country, and that's the least we can do now. The first one comes from Ukrainian Marines, and their motto is Semper Fidelis. The second one comes as appreciation of everything that he did for Ukraine and for Ukrainian people, and it comes from Department of Military Intelligence of Ukraine. This one comes as posthumously for his heroism. Ukrainian armed forces appreciate what he did, and we remember him forever. And may I present you a flag of Ukraine.
Hi, kia ora. I'm not and you what I write this job. Conduct use this bring him back who and Mum and Nairi was for him to come back as people, and you know who you are. And we embarrass you home. So there have been Ukraine people. There have been put up weeks. So those of you around and attend the for Crane, we thank on behalf and on behalf of the family and his family worldwide. I only ask these three gentlemen to stand because we like gentlemen. You're most. Do you mind? The three. Team stories heroes for and ensured that New Zealand. So, ahoko no hea koutou. Thank you for that. The recovery. Geez, Nara, you got very special friend. Are you here, Aaron? Oh, he's got. I think I read somewhere too you were right. Aaron, is that correct? Yeah. And yeah, a very skilled service person. Aaron, would you like the mic or that?
Good afternoon. My name is Aaron Wood, and I am one of the co-founders and currently a trustee of the NODAF Charitable Trust. We all have a version of Kane in our head and in our hearts. These versions are slightly different between all. I'll talk about my version of Kane today. So, Kane, fairly late in our lives. We didn't know each other except through Facebook. We had a few interesting conversations about various aspects of the New Zealand Defence Force, and we didn't know each other, had never met. One day, RSA, Royal New Zealand RSA, there was a veteran who was in crisis. He was a client of Veterans Affairs New Zealand. He'd been wounded in Afghanistan only a few years previously. And for whatever Affairs New Zealand and the RSA were unable to both support him and at that point find him. But the world in need of support. In fact, his psychiatrist had grave concerns for his wellbeing and safety. This individual was in Auckland. I was in Palmerston North. I still don't know why the person from the RNZ-RSA rang me up. I wouldn't have rang me up. But there you go. So I did a quick knowing the information I had about this individual and realised the person best suited to go and find him and support him in the first instance was Kane Te Tai. Now, the issue I had was I didn't have Kane's phone number. I just had contact with him over Facebook. So I literally had to contact Kane and say, hey bro, it's Woody, no duff, funnily enough, can I have your phone number? I've got a situation. His phone must have been in uniform. No, you don't answer a phone at 5 o'clock on a Friday for various reasons. But Kane, being the man that we know, dropped everything he was doing and went out to find his mate. We found him in an hour and 45 minutes. He was hitched up in a park up the road, a northwestern motorway. And from there we wrapped an ad hoc network of support around him from guys we knew in the vicinity. So, as an unincorporated group of barbarian thugs, basically, became a trust a bit later on. And I'm not lying, look at me. Fucking I'm a thug. Sorry. And one of a number of us involved in co-founding NODAF, but if I that call and Kane didn't basically drop everything he was doing and go out of his way to find his mate, support him, it took him hours, then A, his mate would have been in a far worse situation than he ended up. I can tell you now he's doing very fine, he's in a very good place in his life. He's not hooshed up in a public park for one thing. And then from there NODAF was born. And Kane was a powerhouse within NODAF in those early years, of our capability. Programs, a Veterans Learning Centre and a Veterans Health Centre. And I can tell you, Nairi and Keith, that we are dedicating the NODAF Learning Centre to Kane Te Tai. as part of his enduring legacy. It's only a relatively small part of his legacy, but so large is his legacy that it encompasses so many things from here, throughout the veterans community, all the way to Ukraine and back. I'd like to finish with a poem. Not mine, because I'm not much of a poet, as you can probably tell. If you take one backward glance when you're leaving for the places they can no longer go, be may or may not have always. Take and in that war insane, take one moment to embrace those gentle heroes you left behind. Kane Te Tai, son, father, veteran, warrior. Onward.
Kia ora, tēnā koe. Tēnā koe for the explanation around the creation of the No Duff kaupapa. Kia ora. And I thank you, opportunity, Ngaire. This is to all those of you who have given. Of the you gave your love, you gave messages of warmth and encouragement to Keith, Ngaire, and the you giving your time to be part of an opportunity on behalf of Ngaire and Keith to thank you all. And many of you are not here. And in this place, our beautiful boy, on behalf of Ngaire, much for giving so kindly. And I guess you have with him and you have with his whānau. Nō reira e ngā kai hoa. To those you who have given, just being here, given finance, we thank you. Ka mihi tika. We're well ahead. That's what happens when we have no, I won't use that word. That Ngaire, again, would have been a very, very choose the speakers for this ceremony. That we need to feed you all. So having to condense means we can do and still be able to have an enjoyable gathering today. Hey, speaker that Ngaire and Keith have organised to speak to us, and I wonder if he'll have a bit of a lean of this person's role, and he will certainly make that make us aware of that today. So could I ask and the stage? Kei hea koe, Michael. Tess, have we got Michael around? What does Michael look like? Did he get the memo? Michael? Oh, sorry? Oh, hearing. What? You need to. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm butchering you.
Hearing.
Hearing.
Yeah.
Just. What does that say, people? Michael
cheating.
That's correct. Okay. You just saved my day. We'll talk to the typist. But that is you, so thank you.
No, that's not me.
But you're Michael.
No, I'm Heron.
Oh, you are. Okay. Send me the memo next time, please.
Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome.
no.
Let's leave.
That's all right. I'll talk into this. Hello, everybody. It's nice to see you all here. A little bit about myself. I served with Kane 8 months around the area of Voladar, where we fought and he ultimately lost his life. Evening here talking, but I'll speak for the team, not only here but abroad. Kane was the Maori fighting spirit in every essence of his being. He was incredible love and support, no matter and in your body. If you needed help, he would help you. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if you were a civilian. It didn't matter if you had nothing. He would be there for you. This war fighting. It's about supporting the people and loving the people and making sure that they stay safe from evil. And I can tell you that at no point that we stormed any field in our area were we ever worried about not coming home. It's regrettable for me that I wasn't able to come here with him like we planned to after Victory Day with the good Major, who's sitting right over there, our good friend. But the last and only thing that I really have to say to all of you is thank you for bringing such a man into this world and giving him to us so freely. I want to thank the country of New Zealand for really showing up in Ukraine with what they could, which was absolute perfection in person. And this man right here embodied everything that we needed, everything that Alana's village needed. He brought it every day without being asked to bring it. I can tell you that for the rest of my life, I'll always remember him. There won't be a day that goes by that I won't think of some conversation that we've had, sometime that we've almost lost our lives together. But more importantly, I'll never forget all that I've learned from him, and I've definitely grown as a man for knowing him. And I'm sure I'm not alone in this room for saying that. So I thank you all for your time, and thank you very much for your son. I appreciate all of you as well.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for sharing that. I just got a quick lesson on how to say your name properly. Michael Herring. Thank you, Michael. I've just had a quick conversation with Nairi and Keith, and I'm sorry to drop this onto a couple of people, but she's asked if you would speak. I'm not too sure if she's had that opportunity to confirm with you, but they would love the opportunity for Ron Mark, to come and share. And at the completion of that, we're looking for that actor fella with the mohawk. Looks like he's from Moidewa or somewhere. Cliff, an invitation is also for you at the completion of Ron Marks' address. Short address, hopefully. Hara mai, Mark.
That's a bit unexpected. So aroha mai if I seem like I'm struggling to say something right now. And I thought if Cliff's going to follow me with the mohawk, well, I guess I should do this with my hat. But I won't actually, because Kane never saw me wearing this in Ukraine. That'd be a bit silly, wouldn't it? All I want to say, Nairi and Keith and Kane's dad, second dad, as I said the other night on the marae, be very, very proud. And when we say thank you for the sacrifice that your son has made for Ukraine, for the people of Ukraine, know that those of us who have travelled there, whilst we may not have been with Easy and Herring, and I'm looking for Panda, some of us have been there and seen firsthand the devastation that's been inflicted upon the people of Ukraine. Seen firsthand the indiscriminate but deliberate targeting of civilians. Seen firsthand casualties and seen homes that you could only describe as farming villages. You know, these are, apart from the building materials that the houses are sometimes built out of, you could be looking at any farming community in New Zealand, whether it's Balance. None of you know where Balance is, but you know, I grew up in Pahiatua. Most of you probably don't know where Pahiatua is either. But if you drive around the outskirts of Pahiatua into places like Mangamutu, Turumia, Mangaramarama, keep on going out towards the coast to Akatio and places like that, these are just farming towns and enclaves, and some of the places that I went into were very similar to that. They were farming people. So it struck me, it didn't surprise me when I first started conversing with Kane on social media and keeping track of what he was doing, where he was going, and seeing what we could possibly do to help. And then meeting him in Kyiv and spending some time, taking him along as my personal advisor to meet with the Associate Minister of Defence in what was an unofficial, not happening bilateral between New Zealand and Ukraine, me being the first, albeit ex-politician, to go into Ukraine. Taking Kane along with me was just a no-brainer, but it was an ace as well, because he could advise me as to the things that we could do and the things that Ukraine should be asking for from New Zealand. There was no point in asking us for tanks, or as they did, or jet fighters as they did, or heavy artillery as they did, because we don't have any of that, which left them a little bemused as to how we could possibly have an army if we didn't have any of that sort of stuff. But what we did have is people like this, people like that, who are amongst the best in the world, and I say that unreservedly, having seen our people in action now, seen myself in my own service, and it just gives me, it's hard to explain to you how I see today's young soldiers. They might argue with me over the young thing, but to me they're young. I'm 69, cracking 70. And whether it was as the Minister of Defence going into Afghanistan, I went in there twice, going to East Timor, I went into there twice, the Solomons or Bougainville, Iraq, back into Egypt and the MFO, up onto the Golan Heights, into South Sudan. The one thing that I learned, or two things I learned, everybody had more shit than us. They had gear that we could only wish for. But what they didn't have is high-quality infantry soldiers, high-quality special force soldiers. Infantry soldiers who treated recce as though it was just battalion recce, but in actual fact, when you compared them to some of our close friends and allies, they were equivalent to any of the special forces you would have found anywhere else. And yet, in their eyes, I'm just a battalion doing recce. That is what New Zealand, whether it wanted to or not, whether it agreed or sanctioned, Kane's decision to go, that has been the contribution that we have made. And it's a strong contribution, and he epitomises everything that these other infantry soldiers who have stood up, who have spoken to you today, stand for and are capable of. Am I proud of them? Well, for what it's worth coming from me, yes, I'm very proud of them. Am I in awe of them? I'm totally in awe of this man. Do I know what he was doing there? I have a damn good blow-by-blow series of messages on my phone that told me whenever he touched base, and it was just me saying, "You alive? You okay? What are you doing? Where are you?" And from there there'd be a conversation. Kane was always crystal clear. In our meeting in Kiwi, and we drank a few beers, and we talked about things freely and frankly. He was always very, very crystal clear as why he needed to be there, and he was always very, very crystal clear what the possible outcome might be. But he was also very, very, very clear in his mind that he would not dishonour himself, he would not dishonour his unit, he would not dishonour his country, he would not dishonour Ukraine. If he was to go down, he would go down fighting. And that's precisely what he did. Two things to say. Thank you. Please accept our heartfelt condolences, our love, and please know that you have my number. We're always here, as are his comrades. And the other thing I'd only say, out of respect to Kane and Ilona, I think I see you there. Slava Ukraine. Kia ora.
Kia ora, tēnā koe te pāpā. Thank you very much. Where's the Mohawk fella? Curtis, ke kone koe? Ke kone tonu a Curtis? A Mr. Curtis? Tēnā pē. Kei kone ia, boy? Kei reira? No. Sorry, Nairi, maybe the actor has left the room. Kia ora tātou. Hoi nāno ko tai tātou ki te mutunga o ngā kaikōrero ōkawa. So we've come to the conclusion of all the organised speakers that we had planned for today. Just like the salesman, but there's more. Nō reira ko wātia te papa. Just a quick invitation for any of our kaumātua that wish to have a few words. Ko wātia, te wānei. No. Tēnā koe. Nō reira, e tātou mā tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou mo tō taitaitanga mai I tēnei rā ki te whakanui I a Kane anō. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tamariki mā, family, friends, whānau, colleagues, fellow defence personnel, on behalf of Keith, on behalf, of the Te Tai whānau, the Shankol and the Tohu whānau, we thank you for sharing this last part of the day with us all, a long day, a long couple of days. He wāhi mihi tēnei kia koe he te hoaranga tira o Kane. Ha mihi ka tika kia koe to our new Ukrainian cousin-in-law, sister-in-law, daughter-in-law, we wish you well. And to let you know that you have met many people today and over the last few days who care and dearly loved Kane. And they will certainly love and care for you as well. So, ka nui te aroha kia koe. I tried to learn some phrases in Ukrainian, but I couldn't even read it. They were like little N's, so I was outside the door and I asked some kind people who look Ukrainian, because all Ukrainians look alike. And, of course, they do. Hanga, all ite. And she said, victory to Ukraine. And she said, if I said that, then I would be acknowledging the Ukraine people. And I said loudly, victory to Ukraine. Victory to Ukraine. Okay, that's an acknowledgement to Kane's partner. Nō reira ki tāna tamahine, to his daughter. Pērā i ngā wahanga o te tau. Pērā i ngā rau ka taka i te rākau. Ko autumn tērā. Autumn, many of us have met you for the first time, and we love you dearly. We are very, very lucky to have met you and want to reassure you, Autumn, that you have a big whānau and an extended whānau too. You might get half price maybe if you go to the Army Museum or something, but we hope and we know you will be cared for, especially with what your dad has done. So Autumn, we wish you well too, sweetheart. We wish you well, and we know you will be well, you and Dad's partner. Kia kaurua tahi. Nō reira, hei whakaoti I taku kauhau, just to finish. Keith, Nairi, pita kei hea koe. Ka nui te aroha kia koutou. We've been on a wicked journey for our boy, and you have all held up well. You have been a strength for your family, for your children, for your whānau. You have been a pillar, and you have been there for us, and we have been there for you. Nō reira, ka nuhi te aroha kia koutou. We may have buried Kane, but he will not be forgotten. Thank you very much for allowing us. And Nairi, ahatia tō māwiwitanga, I pua wai te kaupapa nei. Nairi, you have put your health challenges to the side, and you have fought this battle, and you have won. You have achieved what you wanted to achieve with Kane, and you deserve every accolade there is. We wish you well, Nairi, now with your next challenges with your health. And kore, ka whawhai tonu koe. Nō reira, e tātou mā kua mutu. We have finished, come to a conclusion, and I'm just looking at my time. I'm bang on. You know, our school teachers are pretty good, pretty well organised. I was really nervous about today, but I put in my mind, I just needed to think it was like a prize giving at school. The naughty ones all up at the back. All the parents who's got prizes, they're all sitting up the front. And the ones on the side, well, you just don't try and make any eye contact with those guys. But we have come to a conclusion. I think I've said enough, Nairi. I think we're mutu. Do you want anything to say? Would you like an opportunity? That's it? No, eh? But you don't want to put yourself. Keith, kanui? Kanui. Dad, pita? Yeah. Oh. You want to say something? Because you're just not allowed to swear? Not allowed to talk about ex-girlfriends?
Tēnā kau te katoa, I tae mai ki konei, e whakami, e tamaiti nei, tamātou tamaiti, manawi a Keith. I'd just like to also feel you're very good. Come home. You've done such a good job.
Yeah. Man, is the kai hot? Shall we finish it there? Because we're actually 10 minutes, we've got 10 minutes before we need to close. We've got music, so kia ora tātou. I'm going to ask Mōrere. Mōrere, we've heard from the Catholics today, and what was the hahi of Philip, Piripi? What's the hahi? Ringa too, we heard some of that, just, and the Anglican. So let's have a bit of moromona. Let's get some of that Mormon stuff sort of running through our minds as well. But I'd like to ask Mōrere, who has a strong membership with the hahi moromona, and to make it our fourth go with Krakia and a different hahi. And if that hasn't worked for any of you, well, you're going to be heathens for the rest of your lives. Come on, haramai Mōrere. Mōrere, he's a one-man package. He can do the karakia. He can do the karakia and the himene at the same time. So what's about to happen is we're going to close this part of our long day with a karakia and a himene, and then we'll listen to some music, and then shortly, when the kai is ready, someone will bless the kai, and then we'll make our way to the back. Make our way back to have something. I don't know how you Aucklanders do it up here in terms of a hakari, but I didn't see any sort of any home cool hanging in the hallway anyway, or any mutton. Didn't see no mutton.
Kia ora tātou, I moe te himene whakamutinga me te karakia, e tuana hau ki te mihi atu ki a tātou, tuatai ai ki tō tātenei matu nui te rangi, mōna manaakitanga I māringi hea ki rungi a mātou, I kau I tēnei kaupapa, mai I Ukraine, taino ki tō tātenei urupāki waikumete I te rā nei. Nō reira, he honore, he kororia ki te atu, he mangarongo ki te whenua, he whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Me whai kororia ki tō tātenei matu nui te rangi I ngā wā katoa. Whakawhiti atu ki tō tātenei tamaiti, e takuto ana, e oki ai, I tō tātenei wāhi tapu o waikumete, nō reira e Kane takuto mai, moi mai rā, I roto I ngā ringa aroha o tō tātenei matu nui te rangi. Huri ki a tātou ko tai mai, tātou ko maria mai o koutou aroha, o koutou tautoko, ki tō tātenei whānau, Kitma, Nairima, koutou e tukuna o koutou aroha, o koutou kaha ki te whakahoki a tō tātenei mai te ki wainganui a mātou. Nui te mihi. E mihi hoki ana hau ki ona hoa, hearing, ko wai anō panda, mi te rātu tangata te mea roa ana, anei te mihi kia koutou mō koutou mahi. Me te rangatira a Ron, tō mahi I whakawhiti atu, I kei a koe te mana I whakarite te hokinga mai o I lono ki Aotearoa, no reira nui te mihi ki a koe, pai ki te whiriwhiri ngā hoa ki ngā taumata teitei, ko koe tērā e te rangatira Ron. Me whakamutunga ki a koe, e te rangatira e nore tō tino kaha ki te mahi, tēnei mahi uoa, tēnei mahi aroha no hoki, tēnei mahi whakawhanaungatanga mō tō tātenei whānau o Ngāti Te Reinga, tō tātenei iwi o Ngāpui, no reira nui te mihi ki a koe. No reira, ko tō tātenei himene hei whakamutu I tēnei wāhi o tō tātenei hui e Kiwi e.
E Kiwi e hola o marino te awhina e hoko fitu atu e hoko fitu atu toa watu matau e ngā e
pā tō mātou matu nei te rangi ka tai mai mātou, I mui I tō araura I te mutunga o tēnei hui. E whakawhetai tōna mātou e pā mo tēnei tō tātenei tamaiti, mo tōna tauiratanga mo tātou kia whai, kia aru I tōna haerenga ki rungi te mato o te whenua. E pā whakawhetai tōna mātou ki tōna whānau I tipu kaha, I tipu pai, I a ia, I tukuna ngā painga mo tātou katoa. E whakawhetai hoki ana mātou e pā, mō ona hoa I whakapau tō rātou aroha, ki te whakahokia tēnei tō tātenei tamaiti ki Aotearoa. E pā mana tia tō tātenei whānau e kākahuri e te kākahu taratara, a whina I a rātou ki te hoki mai ki tēnei ki roto I te ao marama, kia waiho ngā pauritanga, a ko moke tonu, aha ko mamai tonu, e pā mana tia rātou kia piki te kaha te ora, me tangohia te kāpua pauri e tāre ana ki rungi a rātou. Mana tia rātou ki Ukraine e whawhai ana, tukana tō ringa kaha hei arahina I ngā kawanatanga, ngā kaiwhakahaero o aua whenua, kia whakatau te rongo pai ki Wainganui I a rātou katoa. E pā mana tia ngā māwiwitanga, ngā kaumātu, ngā kukuia, e tūroro ana I roti ngā hohi pere, kia piki te kaha te ora ki rungi a rātou. E pā mana tia hoki ngā kai ko whakarite, kia hei oranga mo te tinana, mo te hinengaro, mo te wairua. E pā enei manaakitanga e tukuna ana mātou ki a koe māwano e hakamana, I roti te ingo tau tamaroha tō mātou kai whakora ihu karaiti. Āmene. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora, mōrere. With that karakia, I don't think we need to go to church for about a month. Thank you very much. The words of warmth, the words of keeping ourselves safe. So if you don't mind just talking to your neighbour, just having a bit of a chat, listening to some music, in about 5 to 10 minutes, the catering services will inform us that